I also want to ask you what you'd say to people in the future, because tapes will be around for a while, and maybe our grandchildren will be
well, I guess we
us.
can go back to, you know, we've got problems. We can look at all the negatives and the mess that the world's in today, whatever you want to talk about, but that's not very uplifting. So we got to find something positive that's going on and dwell on that. And I see a lot of positive things going on in agriculture as far as environmental quality is improving. We know how to do a lot of things to improve that, and we know a lot of good things to do as far as erosion control. These strips, using less nitrogen and reducing pesticides. Not saying that we're going to get rid of them. That is not the question. But how can we do it better and use less and make more money out of it? Because there's some money has to come into agriculture.
Oh, it does. Yes.
Into farmers that they can make a go of it. Because I don't want to see just a few large farms.
No.
Because it wrecks communities. It just upsets family style, and so that can come.
And perhaps these people watching in the future, that will be from where they're watching, that kind of world. We can hope. Do you, I didn't flat out ask you, Dick, do you use any kind of pesticides, herbicides?
We have some herbicide trials, but what they have shown us that we actually, in particular using a grass herbicide, we have increased a broadleaf weed called velvet leaf, and that's what has happened here in Iowa. As a general rule, we change weeds with herbicides.
Oh,
and so
okay, I wasn't following you.
So I wanted to document that, and we ran this trial for 7 years, and it's there.
And you raised broadleaf.
Yes, and I actually increased the broadleaves by taking the grass away. So with ridge-till, we're trying to figure out new schemes here, how we can let the natural weeds grow, let them express themselves. They have a pecking order. And bluegrass controls velvet leaf. You do not see velvet leaf in a road ditch. In a good solid seed of bluegrass, you don't see button leaf growing in your house yard. But if you till that up, you'll have velvet leaf.
And the seeds just stay there and wait
until they know it's time. And if you take the grass away, so how can we learn how to use, we could say, early weeds to control later weeds without doing tillage to stir up and wake up a lot of weeds? We'll just take the top off and say, you stay asleep down there now, and use cover crops to give lelopathy to help in that. Plant crops thicker, more shade, all these schemes. And then if that doesn't work, we will use the post-herbicide, and that's where the industry is moving. We're going to have a chance to talk to a major chemical company to talk about these. How can we find common ground? Will you take these ideas on mechanical and cultural methods and incorporating with your post-emergence methods? I'll take the post-emergence method and incorporate with mine. Now, will you take mine and incorporate with yours? So we'll see how that goes. I think they want this to happen.
The chemical companies.
I really do. Some.
Yes.
Some people, some chemical companies. Because to get a better image, because, you know, they're the bad guys now.
Yes.
And we need herbicides when we need them, but we've overused, and because of ease, people like to do it the easy way, we've got ourselves into some bad situations.
The practices take a lot more management, a lot more careful stewardship and watching the farm. I saw your files of records. You must spend a lot of time with record keeping and with statistics.
Well, yes, some. But speaking of the files, what's in those files is 40 years of going through farm magazines whenever they would come, and if there was an article I was interested in, I tore it out and stapled together, and it's filed under certain categories.
So it's a library.
So hopefully someday somebody can do something with that. And and kind of put it all together, some of the old, some of the new, and glean it.
I'm sure they will. A couple of last questions. We had talked earlier about computers, and you said you used your computer as a word processor, but that you knew a number of people who used their computers with programs to track their farms and to keep account of the fields.
I'm sure there's crop enterprise systems for software for computers and livestock, hogs, cattle, you know, the poultry industry all have those, and I know there are producers that use that to help them track what's going on, and it's a good tool. Here again, we need balance. The computer will not solve all of agriculture's problems any more than the commodity markets of using hedges and puts, but it's one of the toolbox. One of the tools in the toolbox. So, and a computer is one of the tools, because the joke is, you know, that the farmer gets this new computer and he's playing with his computer when he should be out cultivating the crop, and the computer will never take care of the weeds.
No.
So, it's how to put it all into priorities and in balance.
And the other question had to do with windbreaks, because as we pulled in your driveway, I saw that you had a good-sized one, and that other farms around here have rows of trees. In a place like Iowa, it's very important, isn't it?
Yes, because the wind always blows here. It's either blowing from the northwest or it's turning around and it's coming from the southeast. And we need more trees in Iowa. We need more trees in the world. We built our windbreaks after we came back from China in '76. Because in China they have 2 rows of trees along every street, along every road.
And you were inspired by being in China and seeing that.
And that we needed windbreaks around our buildings here to protect the animals, save energy. It's just the right thing to do. I would like to see, I would plant trees in every fence row that I have, but we have a lot of tile lines here. And those tree roots would really foul up the tile line, so I don't know how to handle that one yet. But we need trees along the road to stop this wind. And see, with our strip cropping, we're getting into a little of that windbreak. That the corn would help stop the wind for the oats and the soybeans, and we don't understand that very well.
Did you visit any farms when you were in China?
Yes, we looked at farms and schools and hospitals and the Great Wall. And
this was a recent trip that you made.
In '76. So Bob Rodell had been there just a few years prior to that, and we were there when Joe and Lai died, which was quite an experience.
I'm sure.
To see all the flowers in Tiananmen Square, and quite interesting. Quite interesting.
Is there any place in the world that you plan to travel or would like to travel again?
I would like to go back to China sometime to see the change. Now, I had great, I still have a fear that China, you know, as they move to modernize, they'll overdo it, and I don't want them to make the same mistakes that we have here. That they take it slow, and what's right for the people, that they do that right.
Well, maybe you can take that message to China.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe our tape will sometime go to China. Thank you very much for spending time with us today, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Jane.